crossing into a new dimension. Yesterday was a lot, huge contrast. I started by, let's say, waking up in anger and then going to sleep in peace. I barely slept. I was at a tourist hostel with people coming and going at all hours of the night, the lights being turned on, beds being kicked. And it just, for the last week since I've been on my own, I haven't been able to process any of my sadness, anger, frustration, fear, any of my emotions. So they come out sideways. So they came out sideways yesterday. I was irritable with the buses, crossing the borders, people cutting lines. I was huffing and puffing and not in heart resonance. And it's just like, I need to get to a place to be alone, to sit and process all of these feelings. Otherwise, they'll just always keep seeping out in situations that have nothing to do with why I'm really irritable and sad. So, across the border, the day was flawless, but I barely slept, so I was irritable and sad, and I started to, take the time to be in that sadness on the bus. And anyways, my journey started at 5:30 in the morning, and I finally arrived at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to my destination. And I was exhausted crossing the border and all of the, 3 buses and taxi and going through customs, which is always stressful to me. And I'm on the last bus, 2.5-hour bus down a windy gravel road. We jump off at the intersection. Okay, yes, we jump off, and now it's supposed to be a 25-minute hike up this gravel road. And this other woman is there, and super nice. She goes, do you need help with any of your bags? Or I'm like, it's a long trek. How long does it take? She's like, well, people usually come to, they'll pick me up. Someone will usually pick me up, but I'm going to start because it's going to rain soon. And I was so exhausted. I was dehydrated, exhausted, and I'm just like, you know what? You go. I'm like, I trust someone will come and pick me up. And I already had kind of sensed, I don't know if you believe in this, but like my guardian angel, like, hey, I'm going to get off. I really need help on the last 30 minutes. And that was like the only part of the day that's like probably the most treacherous, but where I had the littlest fear. I just trusted, like, no. People say it's easy. My sister said, don't even move. Someone will get you. And I also forewarned my guardian angels to send help so I could just easily get to my destination. So she started on her trek, and I sat down on my bags, and I took a deep breath, a swig of water, and I look up, like in an instant, like 30 seconds, and there's this man with the truck who turned the corner. You don't see people. You don't know who's going to turn that corner and go down this gravel road up a hill. I said, hi, in my broken Spanish, can you drive me to Pachamama? And it's farther. And he's like, okay. And I was like, and that woman too. She ran back to the car. So we jumped in the back of his truck, open truck. Got my umbrella because then it really started to rain, and he drove us right up to the place. So I was talking to the woman. I was like, "Oh, cool. Where are you from? What are you? What's your name?" Finally asked, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Regina." And I go, "No." She's like, "Yeah. I've never met a Regina." And I'm like, "That's where I was born." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "But I call it Regina." She's like, "Well, you could call it Regina too. It's that name." So I found that to be really nice coincidence. And then I got to my destination, found my when I was here last time, I really hiked through the whole place and I tried to figure out what would be the best place for me and my partner to come, and I wanted privacy, I wanted to be out in nature, I wanted space, I just wanted so I was looking, trying to discover what would be my favorite place, and I found one cabin. There's many of them. Found one, and the woman who showed me, she's been here for 4 years and she never walked this far out in the jungle, I guess, to see this cabina. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, this place is special." She's like, "You're so lucky." And this was one that I chose. If I could have requested a place, this was one of them. So I felt very grateful for that. And then quickly changed, showered, and went to the meditation. I was thinking about napping, but I was like, no, it was this song and yoga. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to sit in the back. I'm not going to do yoga. I'm just going to lay, ground. I need to ground myself. I'm too exhausted to kind of follow the rules. So I sat back, laid, and they let me. And then when the song part came, I joined the circle and sang songs with everyone. And there was this one song where we all sang together, and it was words I needed to hear so badly, that I've been craving to hear out loud so badly. And it was, "I love you, yes I do," at the end of the song. And I just started to cry when I heard those words. Those words have so much power right now. I've been craving, I've been just wishing to hear those words for so long. And they came out randomly in that song. And I just sat and cried and let the tears flow. I also like this yoga teacher. They're this beautiful old couple, and she plays this amazing flute, this wooden flute that I would love to play one day. She's inspiring me to learn that. And at the beginning of the yoga, she said, "Smile, everyone smile. Smile at yourselves. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself." It's always such a nice, gentle reminder I need to smile to me, towards myself, not always just to others. So that was a really nice cleanse. And then that night went to yoga. I went to a group meditation. And it was new people, lots of new people. And I look across from me. There was the most beautiful man meditating, white shirt, eyes closed, dark hair, dark skin. Wow, he's beautiful. And then after I went for soup, and there was this one spot at the supper table right beside him available, and I asked if I could sit beside him. we chatted, and it was such a nice connection. He's from Brazil, and it was weird because just in San Juan del Sur, I was trying to get, like, how do I feel about this town? And didn't understand, and I was like, oh, because there's this big Christ statue overlooking the bay, and just like, oh, I don't know, it's just like a mix of so many countries. I'm like, I have a feel like this is what Brazil would feel like, even though I've never been to Brazil. So it's just weird. I never say Brazil, I never think about Brazil. And just yesterday I told my sister, like, oh, this town has like a Brazil feel. I just got to tell him how I felt like I was in Brazil. And then there was these other two women driving up the road as I was going to meditation, and so I saw they just arrived, and I sat with her and for the rest of the supper. And this woman, like, I felt like I was listening to myself talk. The exact process she's going through right now is what I'm going through. And she's here for a month. I'm here for 37 days. And it was just such a beautiful connection to hear her. She's saying that she's this German woman, been in a relationship most of her life, from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend, married for over a decade, and this is the first time in her life she's spending time alone. She has this overachiever tendencies, very based in the masculine, and now she's here in Pachamama to be in the feminine, to not do anything, to relax, to feel herself, feel what it feels like to be alone. And it's like, wow, I'm just so on that journey. And how she's like, oh, I tend to like mother men, and I don't want boys, even though she's, her husband was this very successful businessman. The dynamic between the two was very, like, he wanted to be taken care of. I think like a lot of men, I don't know. And she wants a man who can take care of himself. Like, wow. I could so relate to her journey and her process, and I was really happy, and I thought, because at this other hostel, I didn't talk to anyone. I had no interest in talking to anyone. And I felt like, oh, am I isolating myself? What's wrong? But it's just different energies. It's an energy of people I don't have any connection or interest or desire to be around them. And here, I'm having no problem going to people and talking to them, and I want to learn from them, and our conversations are deep, and they go into learning and profound healings and what we're here for. It's not superficial at all, and I just have zero interest in superficial conversations. So I felt like I just kind of went into two different dimensions from yesterday just by crossing this border, this invisible yet very important border. And I'm in a new energy today, and super excited about all of the activities today. There's so many fun things I want to do today, to wake up and be excited for all of these activities, to sleep well, to hear the rain, to be in nature, to appreciate my alone time, my solitude, hearing monkeys and bats and birds instead of loud music in the mornings is so precious to me. I feel like this is such a blessed day. I'm also in a lot of inner reflection because I keep reading about the heart codes and how our hearts have these cellular memories. And when hearts are transplanted, then people often feel kind of cellular memories of their donors. And they pick up kind of the interests and personalities of their donors. And it really has put a lot of reflection on my heart. That's my journey this month, my heart's journey. Yeah, this should be the title of this book, My Heart's Journey. And I strongly believe in the importance of organ donation. I think that should be mandatory. If you have something that you can help another person when you pass away, it's like, to me, essential. But then it makes me think, what if someone took my heart, my strong beating heart? What are all the cellular memories that they may take with them? Just put in a lot of perspective. Yeah, I want my heart to be as pure, as clean, as full of love as possible for myself while I'm still alive, but also one day in the future if I'm able to donate my heart. So there's, a lot of inner reflections when you're by yourself in nature, in the jungles of Costa Rica. Until next time.